And we're here, of course, to talk about Call Her King, which is blew me away because first of all, I thought it was going to be just a kind of a cartoonish lawyer film, but it is just a kick-ass movie, and I enjoyed just everything about it. It was an edge of your seat thriller.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I was surprised myself because sometimes you need a job, you take a job, and you never know, like, are you going to be surprised? Is it going to be worse than it is? Or on paper it seemed okay. It didn't seem, but then when I got to meet Wes, he was such a cool guy, great guy, and he had like such a good vision. He was so good with actors. He was such a fan. And was so happy to have you. Anytime you were on set, he made you feel like you were special. That you were there, and I could see. I saw a couple of scenes he showed me. I said, "Wow, this looks a lot better than I had envisioned. It was much more exciting." And then not that the script was okay, but I think he took it to a. I think he's good with the action,
Yeah.
and he took it to a different. It seems to me, I haven't seen the whole movie, but what I saw, I said, "Wow, it seems like it's going to be a good movie."
Yeah, it's on another level, from what we expected, and it's such a great surprise that we could still be bowled over by not only the acting but the choreography of how they did it. I mean, turning a courtroom into and making it very interesting in every shot is true art.
Yeah, yeah. Let me tell you. I even had to do a scene where I had to choke a guy out, and the guy, he's way bigger than me, and I haven't, I had great stunt guys, and then a few times I had to like do some physical stuff or throw a punch. They were like, "That was great. You threw the punch great. The stunt guys were good," and then even it was exciting just to see what they were doing. All these guys, the way they were fighting, the way they were really like really into it, and you could tell it's contagious when you see that kind of on set. You don't always see that. You don't always see a guy that has such a good vision, and he's also a good guy.
Yeah.
He's not an egomaniac, and so yeah, I'm excited about the movie. I hope it's going to get a little bit of theatrical. I think I'm not sure, but it's nothing against BET Plus. I mean, I've worked with them a lot. They're good people, but it seems like a theatrical movie.
Yeah, it does. It has that feeling of being on a big screen and just clutching that seat, or it's a popcorn muncher. All of those things are just inherent in the way this was written and filmed.
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad you like it. I mean, it seems like you genuinely were surprised. I
I
mean, just
was.
yeah,
Who thought?
yes. I
Whoever
remember.
thought Naturi Naughton could kick ass like she does?
Yeah, she's kind of a badass,
Yeah,
Notorious. She's a
I don't
tough
want to
little.
get into an argument with her.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to fight her. I mean, I always liked her. To be honest, when I saw her in what was I saw her in the Biggie Smalls movie, I
Yeah.
thought she was interesting, and I was like, wow, like to meet that girl one day, and then here I was working with her. Sometimes you have a vision of wanting to meet somebody, and then all of a sudden you're working with them, and she we got along good, and she liked me, I liked her, and she's definitely a smart lady. She knows what she wants.
Yeah, well, all of you guys are incredible actors. It's not just saying a line and hitting a mark. It's really putting on the skin of that character that you're playing, and taking the audience out of that suspension of belief that you need in a film to to
Yeah,
to take it to that level.
yeah, but it can't be one dimensional.
Yeah.
It has to be a little. There has to be some depth to it, and that's where I think the script was good. But I also think with a director, he came in and helps you have these layers, which makes for interesting characters that are not one note. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
that's when you know it's good acting, that you could see everybody's got a lot going on. And Jason was a lot of fun to work with. Good actor. I mean,
Mm.
all good actors. Johnny Messner
Yeah.
has done a lot of action. I call him Johnny Steaks
Johnny
because
Steaks. Wow.
yeah, yeah. There's a story about that. He uh he only eats steak. That's all he eats. You know what I mean? He's on some kind of special diet where, because the first time I met him, I had met him on some other obscure little movie, and I didn't remember the movie because I must have done some of these obscure ones that, you go in for a day, 2 days, and you never see the guy again. He was like, "Yeah, we worked on this." I was like, "Oh yeah, that one." And I was like, "I don't remember the title. I don't even remember the title of some of these." But anyway, Johnny Steaks. The first night we went, he goes, "Let's meet down the road in Cherry Hill."
Mm.
And it was like a little motel, but it had a steakhouse. And he
Wow.
bought me a nice big steak, and then he had to eat at a certain time, so he was already almost done. He goes, "I'm going to pay for the meal anyway. Don't worry, I'm almost done with my steak." So that the nickname kind of is fitting. He had that funny mustache that I really loved, and he said, "I want to shave it." I said, "Nah, it's like a porno mustache." I said, "It's great."
Well, us Italians, we got to have some carbs with our meals, and we just can't eat a steak by itself. Got to have the side dish.
That's right. That's right. You got to have a little mashed potato or baked potato, something.
Yeah,
You a paisan?
I am. Toscano is my name. Yeah.
Oh wow! So what kind of Italian are you?
Well, I'm. My mother is from Sicily. My father was from Tuscany.
Very nice. I
Yeah.
actually got to work in Rome with John on this, The Name of the Rose, and we got to take a day trip, me and my wife, to Tuscany. So it was really a great meal. I had the great steak there. They're famous. They're talking about Johnny Steaks, and now all of a sudden, you brought up Tuscany. So,
Yeah, well, the great wines out there and beautiful, beautiful scenery and all
oh
that. Name of the Rose was a hell of a film too. I mean, that's one of my favorite movies.
yeah, I mean, it was a good movie, and the miniseries for Sundance John was. I mean, it was a new experience for me. I was kind of out of my element, and I had to wear a costume. It was 1,000 pounds, and they put a beard on me. It was more of like an experience. But John was just outstanding in the really difficult material. I was watching him. I was like, how is he even saying this dialogue? I don't know what they're saying. And I mean, like I said, I was happy. I happy to have the job, and it was a little overwhelming, a little intimidating to me at times. I remember one day I forgot these lines I had to say. I knew them, and then I completely forgot because it was just hard dialogue. And
Yeah.
and then John and my brother was looking at me like in the scene. I was talking to him, and he's looking at me with those crazy eyes, and he was like, he's mouthing the words to me, and I was like, oh my god, because he knows everybody's lines. I'm like, that's the worst thing to do when another guy, and it's your brother mouthing the words. And the director said, "Don't get worried, Nicholas. Don't get scared." I said, I'm looking at my older brother, and I said, "You're making me
Yeah.
more nervous."
That happens. I mean, but you know what? You learn not to be thrown off by things. That's what happens.
Yeah, I mean, then later on, I had a scene, and I did okay. And then my brother goes, "See, you made a comeback. You made a," and I'm like, "Okay." I
Well,
said, I had a meltdown. It happens to all kinds of actors. There have been times where you get frazzled, and everything. I had that one time years ago on NYPD Blue. I was like, couldn't say this. Sometimes the dialogue was so hard, and it was like so. I don't know, for whatever reason, it happens where you just
yeah,
like
you just block it.
like my brother was saying all this insane dialogue. I said, "How are you remembering this?" So you know what he says to me, which is hilarious, but it's true. When you know something that well, he goes, "It's in my body, Nick. It's in my
Wow.
body." I go, "Oh, it's in your body, huh?" you know, I got I'm like, "It's in my body." So in other words, it's not in your head no more.
Yeah.
You know it that well. And really that's what you want it to be. I just did a live sitcom before this crazy strike, and it was exciting, and NBC show. I haven't done that in a long time, but I was I was a nervous wreck because I haven't done it in front of a lot, and I did fine. I mean, I did really good, but I just it was exciting to do that, and my memory as you get older, it's shot. The brain is shot. I mean, the ability is there. Maybe the ability is even better than it was, but my brain just doesn't. It
Yeah.
doesn't. I don't remember very much anymore, except like baseball. If you talk to me about baseball, I'm like a savant.
Well, everybody's got to have a hobby, and I love
Yeah,
it. What do you
that's
think?
my passion.
What do you think audiences are going to take away from Caller King?
I think they're gonna dig it. I think like you, I think they're gonna be very surprised. I think they're gonna be like, wow, this is really good. I haven't seen the whole movie. You have, so
Yeah.
but from what I saw, I got the feeling that this is gonna be it's gonna be really good, really good. So I'm glad to be a part of it. It's always good to be a part
Yeah.
of something good. If you do something good in something good, I've done good things and things that weren't that great, and you're like, ah. I wish the product was better. And because I was in the Black Klansman, had a good part came in and towards the end,
Great
but
movie.
great movie. And same thing with this. It's gonna be a good movie. I had a good role. I was supposed to be like kind of the quirky comic guy, and that's fine. I do that. But also it's a drama, so it's not a pure comedy.
Yeah,
But
but
you still,
you got to have the light with the dark.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. You gotta have some comic relief. And a lot of times that's what guys want from me. Even though I started out in drama, people found out that, oh, you could be very funny. So I like being that guy.
Yeah, I
I,
think you're great in both. I think you're a hell of a scary, dramatic actor. I mean, if you play the tough guy, that's so cool. But again, you can take on lighter roles and just make the audience laugh, and that's a talent that a lot of people don't have.
yeah, I think that's true. I think, you either have those abilities or qualities or chops, whatever you want to call it, or you don't.
Yeah,
There are some people that they're good actors, but they don't have a funny bone in their body. And then there are other people that are like really good actors and they're like really be really funny. Like say, like take someone like Joe Pesci,
yeah,
who's a really, really good actor. He is. He's a
yeah.
really good actor, but he's extremely funny. And I think I have some of those qualities that naturally it's not from something that anyone ever taught me. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I mean, I don't I think you either have it or you don't. And if you do, then you recognize it, and then you have you work on the timing, the cadence, a lot of that stuff. But there are some people that just they're not that funny, no matter how they try. And then there are other people, they go, "Wow, you could make that." I didn't like. I was doing a cop show, and they were like, at the beginning, they go, I didn't know the character was funny. It wasn't that he was funny. It was that I made it funny. This show Blue Bloods I did a few
Yeah.
years,
Oh yeah, of course.
and and I had a great character. And whatever they went in a different direction in that show, but the character, um, this guy Renzulli, it was just things came that I came. There wasn't the jokes or the humor came out of the character,
Well, it
and I
came out
was
of your life, actually. Is
yeah,
you're
yeah,
interpreting that and where you grew up, how you were raised, all of that adds into your comedy timing because you couldn't be funny without that.
exactly, exactly. And it's like I was eating a lot of food on the show, and I was like, and with the food, I found like a lot of freaking humor. I mean, I heard a comment one time from because there's always going to be people that don't get you.
Yeah.
There even producers. There was a producer there that there's some that like you, and some for whatever reason they're like, I don't get that guy, or I don't like that guy. I'm like, well, cops don't sound like that, or I'm like, well, I heard a comment from that. I was like, what? How do
Right.
you know? How do you know that there's some of the cops that are hilarious?
Yeah.
They're like there could be a crime scene, and there has to be some light at the end of the tunnel. That's where that guy is kind of not very bright making those kind of comments because it's like there's all kinds of people, my friend,
Yeah.
and you have no humor in anything. Even the great movies that I love have tons of humor.
Yeah.
You take some Scorsese movies, other things that they're freaking funny stuff that without the humor, what do you got?
Got nothing. You don't have a human story.
you have a human story, but there has
Oh,
to be somebody, there has to be something that, cracks you up too. You go, wow, that's a full meal. To me, that's a full meal.
yeah. Well, I
You
think
know, you
cops develop a sense of humor because that's how they
oh,
deal with the tragedy of their jobs.
of
They,
course,
yeah,
There, a lot of them are funny people. I mean, they really are. I mean, like take that documentary I watched. It was great. I mean, the 7-5. I don't know if you ever saw it, but it's incredible. And the main guy is he's a really like, he's not a great guy. The guy Mike Dowd, whatever, but he's funny. I'll tell you one thing. He's a crack up, and he was a bad dude, but he was also a
yeah,
crack up and a half. You
yeah.
know,
And I think that's how people should, have approached Capone. That he wasn't all
well,
bad. He was
I'll,
a
I'll,
crack up.
I'll, I'll tell you who did it. And I'll tell you who did it incredible. It was De Niro in The
Yeah,
Untouchable. I mean, he had the humor
yeah,
and he was hilarious in that role. Anybody mess with me, I'm gonna mess with them. You know what I mean? He played him like almost Trump, like a politician.
yeah.
I
It was
mean,
so well done.
oh my God, he was hysterical as Capone. Everybody always played Capone like,
Yeah,
Capone, the guy with the scar. But De Niro, he found the humor in Capone, and that's where the brilliance of his acting is. He's funny. He's actually, very funny,
yeah,
and you see it in his roles. You see it in if you watch, well, obviously Rupert Pupkin, whatever.
yeah.
You watch a lot of his roles. There's humor. Even Travis Bickle. There's things
Yeah,
about
there has to be.
yeah, yeah, that make you laugh.
Yeah,
And I think I come from that place. I come from people that are very funny.
yeah.
My
Well,
father didn't even know he was funny. My brother was funny in a serious way. My father was hysterical. He
yeah.
was naked, but he was a riot, but he didn't know it.
Yeah,
And jumped.
we have the same upbringing because I have four brothers and we just tore into each other. But that's where you develop that thick skin and that funniness and how to come back and it's a riot.
It really is. I mean, a lot of people have come up to me. They go, "Are you a stand-up?" I said, "No, no, no, I'm not a stand-up." They go, "Are you?" No, they go, "You're a stand-up, right?" I go, "No, I'm not a stand-up." I go, "Maybe I could have been, but you got to develop that. I mean, you got to come up with an act, all that." I'm not saying I couldn't have done that. I probably, if I had worked on it, because I'm a storyteller, all this stuff, maybe I could have. But I'm not going to call myself a stand-up because that's a whole other bag of tricks. I mean, you got to develop that. But I mean, that's why stand-up. Some of them could act, and some of them have a hard time making that transition.
Well, you are a stand-up guy, and I love talking with you. We gotta call it quits here, but
Okay,
I'm gonna find you somewhere either in LA or New York, and I'm gonna take you out for a steak.
sure, I'll take you up on that, and I'm glad
Got
you
it.
liked the movie. And nice meeting you.
Oh, thank you so much. As I said, and we never even got into your voice work stuff that you do because you're so good at it. But thank you for your time this morning, Nick.
My pleasure. And one other thing I just wanted to say: got another movie coming out in July called The Crusades. So
Okay,
maybe you want to just throw that out there. But
I
and
can't wait. I can't wait to talk to you about that one.
yeah, that's a real comedic role. Really, really comedic. But just wanted to mention that.
And you got it.
Take care,
Thank you
buddy.
so much. Bye bye.
Bye bye.